grading an assignment. In order to grade an assignment inside of Blackboard Learn, what you're going to need to do is first go inside of your course. In this case, I'm going to be using the practice course. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're not going to go into tons of the bells and whistles. We're just going to hit the core elements of how to grade an assignment. There are multiple different ways that you can approach, and we're really only going to be covering two of them. However, to start us off, I'm going to show a common misconception. A lot of folks believe that you can grade an assignment by going inside of your course, using the course navigation menu, giving it a click, and going into that area and being able to grade something. However, you'll notice there's no option to grade any of your assignments from within the assignments area. The way to grade an assignment submission from a student, like let's say we're looking to grade the planet paper here, is not to go in through the assignments on the navigation menu or inside your learning modules or anywhere like that. There's no option to do it there. The way that we need to do it is to come down to our grade center. By expanding our grade center, we have two different options. The needs grading, and this is any item inside of your course that students have submitted and is ready for grading, or I can look at the full grade center, and we're going to explore both briefly inside of this tutorial. But let's begin with the needs grading. So needs grading, if we give it a click, it's going to pull up everything inside of the course that actually needs to be graded. And we can see that I have a lot of stuff here that I need to grade, so I want to filter this down because I'm just looking for an assignment and the planet paper in this case. So I'm just going to go ahead and say filter everything down by assignments, and I'm going to go ahead and say go. So in this case, I've brought that down, then I can see that I'm just dealing with assignments now. Everything else has been removed. And in this case, I want to deal with that planet paper, so I'm going to boil it down even more. I'm just going to say planet paper. And now I've got it down to just the planet paper. If I didn't want to do that, if I'm just looking to deal with assignments, or if I want to grade everything, I can. But in this case, I'm just going to look at that, and we're going to be dealing with the planet paper. So, in order to grade the submission, what you need to do is come down and over one of the users, and don't click on their name. That's going to bring you to something a little bit different, but if we want to give it a shot, let me show you. It brings up their specific attempt, if we wanted to grade a specific student, or if I come back here and I say on this action link item, I can grade all users, or I can grade all users anonymously. And then what that does is grading anonymous allows you to grade it without the name associated with it. So again, let's click back over here on Tony Brown, and we'll see that right here, user Tony Brown, and we can see their submission. If we were to grade anonymously, it does not display the name. So this can remove any kind of bias. If we're concerned about that, we can say, okay, there's no user, it's done anonymously. However, if you're paying attention, you'll see the first problem is if a student has submitted something, like right here, we can see that inside of the document itself, we can see the name. So that kind of defeats the purpose of grading anonymously. So if you are planning on using anonymous grading, make sure to tell your students not to put their name on their paper. It'll be tracked by the system itself. However, if we're just looking to grade, let's go ahead and pop in. And if you're just looking to grade regular, you can either click on the action link item and say grade all users, or you can click on the user's name itself, and that's going to bring up their attempt. So in this case, I'm just going to click on the user's name, and here we go. So we're taking a look at Tony Brown, and this is Astronomy 101. We're looking at the planet paper. If we need details on what the directions were for the paper, on the right-hand pane, we can click on Assignment Details, and it will expand with all of our original instructions and class details. You know, I've been grading some of them, so the average is 30, median is 0, and that can give us some information at a glance. If we're just looking to grade the assignment itself, here we can preview the assignment, take a look, we read the whole thing, we say, okay, great job, then we can enter a grade here. Maybe they're getting 25 out of 100. But if we want to provide a bit more detailed feedback, we can also, right down here below, we can say, you know, the standard great job, you know, whatever feedback we have for them. So let's say we have a grade of 25, and we're giving them some feedback here. But also, if they have submitted using a .doc or a .docx, so this is a Word document, you can actually do inline grading. You can mark up their paper just like we would if they handed it in class. To do that, we're going to come over here into our Crocodoc window, we're going to click on the comment area and get a drop down. And there are several different types of comments. One is a point comment, so anywhere we click we can make a comment. Nice title, something like that. We can enter comments on specific points inside of there, and they actually show up for the student. So we can also do an area comment, so we can say, this whole area, I don't know, maybe forgot something, and we can see that I'm entering an area comment, so it's gonna highlight the whole area. And same thing with the text comment, so here we can come down and we can highlight and we can say, I don't know, it's more info. Okay, so here we can see that we're highlighting it, and we've got comments in there, and it all builds out. We can also actually draw inside of here. So if we didn't like this entire section, we can just go ahead and cross it off. We have color choices. We can come through and we can highlight text so that when we're referring back to the student, we can actually come in here and we can add text right into the document itself if we want. So there's a variety of different options that we have inside of here where we can actually mark up this document and then return it to the student. If you don't want to grade using this, or if there's any problem here, go down to the bottom and you should be able to download the student's submission just like you potentially have in the past, or maybe they emailed it to you. You can download it right here, save it to your computer, and make your markups, and then when you're providing them feedback, you can click this little attach button, and then you can browse your computer and send them back a file as well. So if you don't want to do all your markup inside of here, you can download it and have it on your local computer and then reattach and send back to them. So when you're all done, you're into your grade, you've given your feedback, you're going to go ahead and click submit. And then what it's doing, it's actually providing your feedback to the student, entering the grade inside of the gradebook, and then it pulls up the next student's submission. So you can just keep going through and grading and grading and grading until you're all done with the assignment, and then you'll be good to go. So let's see what happened with the gradebook. So we were grading Tony Brown, we gave him a 25. So let's see what happened. Let's go back to the Grade Center and let's click on Full Grade Center. So before we did needs grading and we were filtering down to just the things that need to be graded. Inside of the Full Grade Center, we're going to see every single column, everything that's gradable inside of the course. But there's a way we could grade from here as well. We can see everyone who needs a grade has this little exclamation point saying needs grading. Anyone that I've already graded already has the total input right there for them. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look inside of here, and we're going to go ahead and grade a student using this method. So let's go ahead and find Ryan Johnson. What we're going to do is, instead of clicking on the exclamation point, we could put in a grade here, but we haven't seen their submission, so we don't want to do that. We want to click on the little action link item, this options menu right here, and we want to click on attempt. So that's going to pull up the attempt for that student, and it's going to be the same kind of a thing. Now, I've already gone through and done some pre-markups for us, so we can see we've graded, we've marked up. We're going to go ahead and give them maybe, how about 99 out of 100, and some pleasant general feedback. And then we submit. So now we've graded Ryan's, and just like with the other method, it's going to move me to the next student so I can continue grading. But let's see what happened here to Ryan. Let's go ahead and return to the Full Grade Center, and let's find Ryan. So there's Planet Paper, there's Ryan Johnson, and there it is. So everything is good to go from that standpoint. So those are the two basic methods of being able to grade an assignment. So remember, we don't go to the assignment itself inside of the course. We're going to the Grade Center in order to evaluate the students. We're going to either click on Needs Grading or Full Grade Center. Once we do that, we're going to get inside and use one of these two different methods for grading the student. One side note that I want to go ahead and touch is that if an assignment, if a student submits something that is not a Word document, you will not be able to use that inline grading. So let's go ahead, in this case, I'm going to look for an assignment that has a submission that did not use a Word document, just so that we can demo that real fast. So how about Monday Night Moon Review? Perfect. So let's go pick on Henry here. So Henry has submitted, and this is just a plain text document. Maybe he used the WYSIWYG editor inside of the course to submit it, but has not used Microsoft Word. If you notice, we don't have that Crocodoc window, and we can't do the inline grade markup. So unless a student submits the actual Word document or .doc or .docx, you can't use that inline grading. So it comes up here. In this case, we would just go ahead and give them their grade and provide their feedback in the side. We don't get that inline grading option. But other than that, those are all the techniques. I hope this helps. Thanks.